With only 1 week left of 2022, I wanted to take this video and look back at all the LEGO Star Wars 2022 sets and rank them from worst to best. Let's get into it. So yes, welcome back everyone to another LEGO Star Wars video. In today's video, I want to take a little bit of your time and go over every single LEGO Star Wars set that came out in 2022 involving poly bags, promos, foil bags, actual box sets, including the advent calendar and everything in between, and basically rank them from worst to best. I'll be using a tier list, of course, and pretty much go from S tier all the way down to F tier, and finally conclude what I think the best set of the year is. And yeah, without further ado, guys, let's get into it. Alright guys, so I've got the tier list actually pulled up right here, and as you guys can tell, I've got everything from the box sets and the promos, the foil bags, the poly bags. I've got even Blue Milk Luke here. So without further ado, guys, let's get into it with, I guess we got the combo pack right here, kind of the holiday 3-in-1, and yeah, this one's kind of unfair to really compare to other sets. It's a great deal, of course, very fantastic deal for $50, and with all that in mind, look, I think I got to put it right here smack dab in the middle. Realistically, I think it is a, value-wise, probably an S tier value, of course. But I think I have to put it in a B to kind of, stay fair. But for $50, it's kind of unbeatable. Advent calendar up next. This thing I'm actually, pretty much done with. I'm recording this on the 23rd. So all I have is just tomorrow, which actually, I don't really remember what is the 24th minifigure in this, this year. But nonetheless, so far, I've been kind of underwhelmed, I got to be honest. Definitely not the best advent calendar at all. It's cool for what it is. It's great value, a lot of fun. But compared to a lot of these other years, I think I got to put it in C tier. I got to be honest with you. So next up, we actually have the AT-AT foil bag, and I'm going to put this in D tier just because we have a lot of AT-AT foil bags. I'm a pretty big, foil bag collector, and I think this is like the third or the fourth one, and in my opinion, just something that, LEGO did not have to put out. Next up, we got the Hoth AT-ST poly bag. This one right here, look, I hate to be mean to this set. It's a cute little set. At the start of it, it was not a bad set. But this thing is so cheap in value, so easy to get. They've reused this so many times, for promos. And look, I got to be frank with you, this is an F tier poly bag. This has no value. I don't like it at all. And that's pretty much that. So I'm actually going to skip over the ATTE right now. Pretty much I want to try to thin out this a little bit because for my S tier, unlike most people, I want to keep it just to my number one. So S tier will be number one. Actually, I guess for now then, I'll put ATTE A tier, and pretty much what I'll do is by the end of it, all my stuff in A tier, I will whittle it down and pick my number one and move it up to S tier. So ATTE, definitely A tier. BD-1 right here. This is actually probably going to surprise some of you guys, but I truly do think it's an A tier set. I think the value for it, I think it's pretty good. I think it's a nice little build. I'm glad they're finally touching Jedi Fallen Order. I'm not even a big fan of the game. I personally got really bored of it after like 30 minutes, but quite frankly, I'd give LEGO a lot of respect for it, and I think they pretty much knocked it out of the park. Next up, we have Boba's throne room here. I think C tier for me is pretty much where I want to put it at, mainly because, look, the minifigure selection's pretty cool. I think the build is kind of lackluster. Of course, Boba Fett is messed up, and overall, look, there's a lot more I think they could have done for it. It's on sale a lot of times. Everyone's kind of getting it for $50, $40, where, just look, short term and long term, really nothing to go crazy about. Next up, we have the Dark Trooper helmet, and look, I got to be that guy, and I really do think it's an F tier set. I think they did, really bad job on this thing. I think it was, as is, who really cared about a Dark Trooper, say, over some of these other things. I think a Dark Trooper would have worked, sometime in the next, say, 5 years. But to kind of put a Dark Trooper over some of these other clone troopers, some of these other stormtroopers, some of these other even named characters, I'm just really surprised, and their execution on it was very, very poor, I think. Definitely an F tier right there. Next up, we actually have the Dark Trooper attack right here. Speaking of Dark Troopers, where, look, I think realistically, I think I got to put it B tier. Again, it's a nice little scene for what it is. Captures the scene well. You get a Luke minifigure that's pretty much worthless right now. You get a couple Dark Troopers in there. I think for $30, it was a lot more worth it. Grab it on sale for $24. Get 2 or 3 of them. Get up your Dark Trooper army properly. Make a bigger hallway. But I can't really give it too much more than that, since it really is kind of just like a bare minimum set. It works, but it definitely doesn't compete with some of the stuff in A tier, I feel. Next up, this is an easy one right here. We got the Endor 4+ set. This thing is below F. Quite frankly, realistically, I think it is the worst set of the year. 100%. I don't think anything can get any worse than this. So, F tier, overpriced. And, sure, the Wicket minifigure's cool. But, look, man, it should have been $24.99. Retail. And even then, that's giving it some credit there. Next up, we have Millennium Falcon foil bag. Again, I'm a big foil bag guy, but I got to put it D tier because it's like the 4th one that we've actually gotten. So, in my opinion, it's really not too worth it. Next up, we have the Hoth ATST, the bigger one. You know, I don't own this set personally. You know, my image on it is pretty poor. So it's kind of hard for me to really judge it fairly, I feel. But from everything I know about it, you know, my love of ATSTs, this is definitely not one of my favorites. I think I got to put it C tier. You know, I think for $50, it's fairly valued. You get some cool minifigures in there. And if you're a fan of the Hoth ATST, if you like that model better than, say, the original kind of Return of the Jedi one, or, you know, some of these other ones, you know, Rogue One, if you like this more, then definitely, you know, put it up in B tier, you know. But I think for me, C tier is pretty much where I want to put it at. Next up, we got the Hoth accessory pack right here. And this is very tough for me, actually, because, you know, look, I want to put it in, like, D or F, just for all the fundamentals of it, of being an accessory pack. And you'll kind of see when I get to the Clone Command Station, kind of my gripe with these accessory packs, but I can't really give it that same gripe with this set because no one buys it, so it's always in stock everywhere. So I think, you know, as this one sits, with how LEGO's kind of handled it, I gotta maybe put it D tier. I don't think it was the most needed. I think I would have rather them just do a, you know, a competition battle pack. You know, literally think about that. I don't know why they didn't do that like they used to do. You know, do a $20 Snowtrooper battle pack and then a $20 Hoth Trooper battle pack. I think, you know, look, that would have at least looked a lot better on paper, I feel. So I think a D tier for that is fair. So next up, we actually have the Dagobah training set right here. And this is one I really do want to get it eventually. I want to try to catch it on sale. In my opinion, look, I think for everything it stands for, I think it's B tier easily. I think, you know, as is, it was one of the best value, you know, diorama sets when it first came out, and I still, you know, stand by that. So I got to give it a B tier there. Next up, Obi-Wan Starfighter, easy A tier for me. I think $30 is a fair deal. You know, $24 even better. Fantastic minifigures. You know, definitely a remake we needed more so than some other things. So easy A tier for there. Speaking of A tier, we got the Justifier here. Actually, my bad, not the Justifier. We got the Inquisitor scythe. And this is another A tier for me. I'm looking at it right now across my table. And a beautiful build. You know, look, for everything it's worth, the minifigures are fantastic. And I think for $100, you know, especially, you know, wait till it, you know, goes on 20% off sale. That's going to be a heck of a bargain right there. Next up, we have the Justifier. And I hate to do this. I don't think I can put it in F. I don't think I can put it in D either. I think I got to put it in C. You know, look, I think it is truly $40 overpriced from the get-go. But I think everything it actually stands for, the minifigure quality in there, you know, the new minifigures we do have, I think LEGO was in their right mindset making the set. But in my opinion, you know, look, I think everyone probably would have rather have maybe a bigger ATTE, you know, in the slot, maybe switch up the Justifier and ATTE price points. So I think I got to give it C tier, kind of run of the mill, right in the middle. You know, I'm a pretty big fan of it. I you know, want to get it eventually, but I definitely don't want to pay much more than like $100 for it personally. Next up, we have Lars Homestead. This one, I got to give LEGO some credit for thinking outside the box. I'll probably go C tier again. I think it's a nice little promo, you know, definitely worth, you know, a pretty nice penny, even just as a retail set, you know, probably would have been $25, $30. So to get something like that, of that sort of kind of direct value as a promo is always nice. So I definitely got to go probably C tier there. I think I'm happy with. Next up, this is probably going to be the hottest take of them all. And look, bottom of my heart, I'm not just doing this for the video. I think for everything LEGO, how they executed it, I think for putting that clone commander in there, I think for it never being in stock, I think for it being an accessory pack and not a battle pack, I really got to be honest, LEGO dropped the ball heavily on these accessory packs. I got to be honest. I think I got to put it in F, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I mean, maybe wiggle it up to D, maybe, but I think F is realistically where my heart stands on the set. I think, you know, they should have just kept it battle pack wise. I think for accessory packs, as a lot of people say, they really should have just stuck with, say, doing a Jedi accessory pack. You know, some of these more named characters that, you know, look, people can go into the LEGO store, pick one up for $15, get a couple great minifigures, you know, make a Dooku, a Yaddle, a Palpatine, like make one of those, you know, accessory packs, you know, fully detailed minifigure. So I think, look, I mean, LEGO really has to kind of rethink how they do those for Star Wars if they ever make any of them again. But I think, yeah, Clone Command Station, F tier. And the only reason why I'm putting the Hoth one above it is just for the fact of the matter, you know, whether it's because no one buys it or not, you know, at least the Hoth one's always in stock, I feel. So that's the one little perk I will give it there. Next up, we have Ambush on Ferrix. And look, my heart wants me to put this at D. I really do, but I got to be frank, I got to throw a little respect on it, I feel. I think I got to put a little respect there because after watching just a couple episodes of the show, I've not finished the show, but from everything I've seen, you know, it actually is kind of, you know, scale accurate. I think for a while there, I was a little bit like, you know, why is that so small? But, you know, look, I think it's pretty accurate. I think it's $10 overpriced, but I'll give LEGO some credit there. Next up, we have the Luke's Landspeeder. UCS set. And this might be a hot take too, but I gotta go B tier on this. You know, this is something I said back when it first got revealed, and I just can't be mad at them as much as, you know, sure, it's a Luke's land speeder, you know, they come out with one of those every year, whether it's, you know, a polybag, microfighter, you know, regular size set, now UCS, but really, I gotta give LEGO, you know, credit for it. I mean, it's literally been 22 years or 23 years of LEGO Star Wars at this point, and that's the first UCS land speeder they did. I think they pretty much knocked it out of the park, and you really can't hate on it for being the first UCS set of a land speeder. You know, sure, if they come out with another one in 3 years from now, if they remake it, they make another UCS land speeder, then, you know, look, and then I'll start being like, all right, now you're overdoing it. But for being the only UCS land speeder in 23 years, I think they really did knock it out of the park, and something that I think every LEGO Star Wars fan you know, needs or needed if they want it. So next up we have the Princess Leia foil bag, and you know, kind of hard for me to rank these compared to other things, but I think a B tier is, you know, pretty fair. You know, for me being an American, I don't see these all the time. You know, I can't get them at my local store. I can't get them for, you know, a cheap price, but, you know, if you look at some of these, you know, international sellers, you know, they get them very cheap, and they can sell them very, you know, very cheap. So for anyone, you know, any country that actually stocks these foil packs on a regular basis, you know, getting a Princess Leia, you know, that one in particular for, you know, 3 or 4 euros, I think it is, you know, in some of these countries, I think that's a fantastic deal, since I think she's like a $10 minifigure, I believe. Next up we have Blue Milk Luke, and this one I got to put at D tier. You know, look, I think the hype around it was pretty cool. I think when it first came out, you know, look, it was nice having them be $100. You know, a lot of people wanted them, even though, you know, just such a slight difference between the regular Luke. But nowadays, you know, look, I think definitely overrated. You know, a big shipment of them came from Mexico, so now there's like 10,000 more in circulation. So the hype around it, in my opinion, is kind of, you know, whatever at this point. I bought actually 2 more to keep sealed long term. But other than that, I think as a fundamental kind of promo, I think it was very lackluster, kind of a cash grab for LEGO. You know, something very simple for them to do, and I really can't, you know, respect LEGO for that. Next up, I believe that's the Imperial Light Cruiser. You know, look, for being the... Actually, I don't think I can do that. I really don't think I can do that. I was going to put it in C tier because it's the first one they ever made of it, but I think I got to keep it in D tier. I mean, again, it's just another little plain gray, you know, non-minifigure foil bag there. Next up, we have the Rebel pilot helmet. I think C tier for me is where I want to be at. I think they pretty much did as good as they could, but I think from Adam, you know, just on paper, you know, that idea was never going to work really. Next up, we have the Mandalorian helmet. Probably a B tier here. You know, if they could have chromed it out a little bit more and add a little bit more, you know, spark to it, a little bit more shine to it, I think that's an easy A tier. I think the actual design of the helmet is actually very nice, but I think, you know, just kind of a little too dull gray for me. I think, you know, it kind of doesn't really truly represent the Mando helmet too much, but I think, you know, look, B tier is where I want to be at for that. Next up, we have the Mandalorian Warrior foil bag. Easy B tier here as well. Actually, man, do I do the hot take of... I don't know if I can put it in A tier. I really don't, just because they're not, you know, available like worldwide. You know, so maybe a little bit of jealousy on my end that I can't just go to my store and get them myself. But I think B tier. B tier for that. It's a fantastic deal. You know, very easy to army build that minifigure, so you really can't hate on that. Next up, what is this right here? Oh, Mandalorian Starfighter foil bag. You know, look, I'm a prequel dude. You know, I love it. You know, I got to go C tier, I think. So even though I think they made one back in the day too, so it is technically a remake. C tier for that. Next up, we have Darth Maul. This one I'm going to put C tier too. You know, it's a very cheap way to get the minifigure, but it's also just not as needed as, say, like a Leia or you know, Mandalorian Loyalist. You know, it's a lot easier to get that Maul in that little $20 set. Next up, N1 Starfighter. Easy A tier for me. Easy A tier. You know, and possibly even S tier, but you know, this is a easy A tier for me. I love it. I built it. I'm a huge fan of it. I think it's definitely worth it. Next up, we have the Kenobi Duel, and I got to go D tier, I think. I would go F tier. You know, look, you know, if this was my own list, I would go F tier, but I got to give a little respect to it. You know, most days I would put it in F tier, but I think I got to put it D tier today, mainly just for the fact the minifigures do kind of redeem it. You know, if you get it for, say, 40 bucks, you know, the minifigures, you know, you're getting your value there. So next up, we actually have the Razor Crest foil bag. I'll go C tier, just for the fact of it being the first one, so I got to give a little credit there. Next up, we have the Razor Crest Microfighter, though. That one I got to put D tier. You know, I'll put both D tier. I don't think I can put the foil bag over the Microfighter, because at least you get a minifigure for a little bit more money there. But the Razor Crest Microfighter, in my opinion, you know, but ooh, I'm gonna go F tier on that. I'm gonna go F tier on the Microfighter for the fact of, look, you know, it's the same minifigure that we've gotten in like 5 other sets before that Microfighter. I think how they should do Microfighters is, you know, release something like that with a new minifigure for the January wave, and then sure, maybe put them in another set in summer. But for the most part, you know, why are you buying that $10 microfighter? Like, you know, you don't need the minifigure since he's in 5 other sets. So, you know, F tier for that thing. Next up, you have the UCS Razor Crest. And look, this is another very hot take here. And this is not for the camera, not at all. You know, you guys have kind of heard my vocal opinion on the set since it actually got revealed. And with that being said, I might actually move the foil bag down as well. And it's going to sit in my F tier for now. It's going to sit in my F tier for now. Maybe by the end of it, I'll put it up in D. But I've kind of said it before. Look, I think it's a little overpriced. I think the minifigures, they really dropped the ball on them, aside from Mandalorian. And it's also 2 years too late, in my opinion. So I think, you know, look, if it was 2 years ago, as it sits right here, probably a C tier. If it was 2 years ago, say $50 less and better minifigures, I think every bit of an A tier. You know, but right now, I just have no care in the world for it. I mean, it's a blown up ship. It's like, you know, we might not ever see the ship ever again. Why do I want to drop $600 on it? You know, that's kind of me right now. So F tier for that. Snowtrooper Battle Pack, you got to give some credit to it. I think it's great value. You know, we see Snowtroopers a lot, but I think, you know, it's a fair battle pack. You know, it kind of goes back to actually, you know, kind of build your army status. You know, it's not just some officers and some random characters. So B tier for that, I think, is pretty fair. Next up, we have the fighter tank. I think B tier is also fair on this. I think the fighter tank build's actually a little bit better than I thought it would be. Some great minifigures in there. $40 is not too bad. Get it on sale, $32. So there's that. We have a sequel foil bag right here, TIE silencer. Probably F tier here. I mean, I really don't think I can put it any higher than that. Let's knock out these other 2 foil bags while I'm here. Tusken Raider, I'll go D tier just for the fact of it is a minifigure. You know, at least, you know, it's a lot better value to get, say, another Tusken Raider than some of this other stuff. 501st foil pack. Probably A tier. You know, again, a lot of these international countries are very lucky that it's such a cheap way to army build. You know, for A tier right there, very, very cheap to get a 501st. So I'm very jealous about that. Then lastly, here we have the trench run, and I think it's pretty boring. I think it's kind of lackluster. I'll probably comfortably go C tier on this guy. So actually, how I see this, I'll actually go C tier here. I'm going to move Dagobah training up to A tier because I really do like that. Because then I'll put the trash compactor in B tier. Yeah, I'll put the trash compactor in B tier. So that's kind of where I'm ranking the dioramas right there. And that looks like about all, guys. So now let's just take a little bit of time. And what set am I going to put S tier? I've thought about this for a little bit, you know, kind of known about this for a while. It's tough, you know, it's not the ATT. I think there's too many problems with that. I can't put it S tier. BD-1, heck no. Dagobah training, no. I can't put a foil pack number 1. Kenobi Starfighter, I think, is a little too cheap, a little too, as much as it's a fantastic set, I think it's a little too lackluster to put S tier. So, all right, this is my humble opinion. You know, again, don't hate me for it. I know everyone's thing is going to be different. There probably won't be anyone that agrees with this take, but I think as it sits, for relevancy, for value, for how it looks, kind of throwback to a prequel ship as well. Everything regarding me, and like I said, when I built it, it's right there. I'm staring at it right now. I'm staring at this ship right now, and it's tough. Between these last 2, of course, we're going between the Inquisitor scythe right here and the N1 Starfighter. I got to do it, guys. I got to put the N1 Starfighter S tier. That's truthful. That is 100% truthful. N1 Starfighter S tier, that's where I'm sitting right here. And I love the set. I recommend it. Truthfully, I mean, $48. Grab it on sale. And I would assume you would not be disappointed. It's a nice, beautiful display piece. It's a great, you know, Naboo Starfighter, you know, kind of recolor, prequel ship, and, you know, relevant right now. And overall, just fantastic. You know, minifigure selection, too. Like, all brand new minifigures, too. Like, aside from the Baby Yoda. But you really can't complain, I don't think. You know, I don't know why people give that set so much flack. But there's the entire list right there, guys. So let me know down below how you guys, you know, think of it. Like I said, I will be saying in the outro, I'll be doing something with you guys about this list a little bit later tonight. But that's pretty much all, guys. So leave your list down below, or basically leave your thoughts down below. What would you guys change? You know, do you guys agree with my S tier? Do you guys agree with my F tier stuff? And everything in between. So yeah, let's close off the video, guys. So there's the entire list, guys, and I want to thank you guys all so much for watching. And actually, if you guys want to be a part of one of these lists, I'll be actually doing a live stream later tonight where basically I'll be taking all of your guys' opinion and kind of have another tier list made up of all the you know, subscriber and fan opinion. And basically by the end of it, we'll be able to kind of see you know, how do our lists compare? You know what I mean? Do I like stuff more than you? Do you guys think a set's better than I think it is? You guys think a set is worse than I think it is? And basically we'll have a little bit of fun tonight on a nice little live stream right before before Christmas Eve and Christmas. So hope to see you guys all there tonight. I think that'll be a really fun one. Then also coming up on Monday or Tuesday next week, I'll be doing one of these tier lists, but for all the new LEGO Star Wars 2022 minifigures that came out this year. I believe there's like 35 of them. So as always, I hope to see you guys there on Tuesday and also in the stream later tonight. And that's pretty much all for this video, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for see you guys later. Bye, guys, and stay safe.